Nigerians join in the celebration of this year's Children's Day. Stakeholders have called on the federal government to prioritize the rights and welfare of children in the country. They emphasize the need to create a safe environment devoid of violence and bullying for children to evolve into resourceful, creative and patriotic adults. The theme for this year's celebration is Little Footsteps, Big Future. Nigeria has a young population. About 42% of the 223 million is under 15 years old, while 70% is under 30, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Worried over the continued inability of states to access funding from the Universal Basic Education Commission, which is intended to improve public schools, the Executive Secretary of UBEC, Aisha Gaba, expressed worry over states' failure to provide matching funds costing billions of naira to remain unclaimed and contributing to infrastructure shortages in schools, despite government's plan to facilitate the release of a 5-year backlog in unused basic education grants. Speaking yesterday at the 26th quarterly review meeting with the State Universal Basic Education Board in Makurdi, Benue State, Gaba emphasized the urgency of addressing unutilized and unaccessed UBEC intervention funds. As of December 2024, 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory had yet to access 263 billion naira in UBE matching grants for 2024. In the same vein, a delegation from the Nigerian Children Parliament also called on the federal government to prioritize the protection of the Nigerian child from traffickers and other societal vices. The group, at a meeting with the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, highlighted the challenges confronting Nigerian children to include poverty, abuse, exploitation, lack of access to education and healthcare, stigma and social exclusion, and calls for collective action to safeguard children's rights. Oh well, this is an elaborate emphasis on the prioritization of children welfare and rights. Although Morrison Media is also joining in the celebration of Children's Day today, to take time to celebrate the children in Port Harcourt, courtesy of Morrison Media. If need be, we will share the information at the end of the show. Well, considering the statement by stakeholders urging the federal government to, prioritize the welfare of children and their child rights. It's not. So some people will say it's not a new topic. It's not a new, statement over the child rights, because we believe that the children are the future of the next generation. How do they say, leaders of tomorrow? And in that instance, I just want to get your thoughts on, first off, this statement by some of the stakeholders and even the women minister from the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Parliament of Children, and your statement, your analytical statement over prioritization of children welfare entirely.
It's not a new thing, if you ask me. You just cited it that this is not the first time they have made mention or have used words like, the children welfare should be looked into and be the priority of the country or something. But the problem is, we ordinarily, if we're in a country where we stick to whatever statement we have made, but I would have said that what they said, that they are not far from the truth, and such move should be executed and then have an outcome that would either put a smile on the faces of every Nigerian. But because it's been something that they keep doing every now and then, you hear them say this, they want to bring a new topic for the Children's Day and all that. It's not bad, but my advice is that if we must say a thing, we should also swing into action and make it becomes a reality. Because I tell people, I say, some people will say they are the leaders of tomorrow. They are no longer leaders of tomorrow, they are leaders of today. in the sense that you know that the people who we met as children, when we were children, you hear them when we were children, they say we are the leaders of, there's a song then, a rhyme then, they say we are the leaders of tomorrow. Those leaders we met when we were children, then I should be in my 10 or 12 or so, we heard we are the leaders of tomorrow. They are still the leaders we met when we were children up till today. They are still the leaders we know today as we become elders and as we have gotten to the age we are today. So I think I want to also disagree with them in the area where they said they are the leaders of tomorrow. No, I am on my own saying that they are the leaders of today. The children has decided to work on themselves and have made themselves leaders of today. You know, something happened around my area a few weeks, and an adult came to contest for an election, a neighborhood kind of election. And we have children who are vibrant and sound, who, if you talk about rectorship, they are give it to them. But some others came that it's been elderly things, that it must be an elder. I came up with my idea. I had to go to the young ones. I said, no, that this is the mindset I wear as a person. That mindset, that what is it about? We grew up while we were in school, when we were in primary and secondary school. We were always singing, we are the leaders of tomorrow, and that leaders of tomorrow didn't come. We didn't see it happen. And that I would want you to show yourself and prove yourself that you are the leaders of today by you children coming together to work in synergy and prove them that you are the leaders of today. How do I mean? You cannot be educated, you cannot be sound, you cannot know what norms and what rule of laws are, and somebody is still calling you a child. You are not a child according to one adage in my place. They said you're not a child in an animal you have killed. Like if you should kill an elephant, you are no longer a child because you were able to eliminate or kill an elephant. So you should be addressed as a hero, or yes, a hero, you know, or yes, a hero. So now they are like, no, that these people are children. I said, no, it's not happening. I won't let this happen. And I went to children, including the child of the people. Well, these people who are saying that they are still the ones to rule in the street. I said, no. And we said, okay, whatever you have, why not you unfold what you have as an elderly person? Why these boys bring theirs? And the children began to do their manifesto. In course of the manifesto, people saw light. And as it stands today, these same boys has put education as the first priority in their own region. And this old man was telling them that since they are the elders, that what they want to do is to make sure they build hall for chiefs to be sitting and be deliberating. This guy said no. Our vision is that the children, our age mates, must go back to school. Those who are on the street, roaming about in the street, or that are taking whatever thing they are absorbing that is intoxicating them, should stop. And as it stands now, they are put to stop that because they are fellow children. When they speak to them like children, they listen to them. So all I'm trying to say is that the welfare of the children, if Nigeria will agree to put in those funds, those amenities, those accessories, those things that are required to give these children sound education and to give them better life, sound health, without derailing from the topic they have initiated, whether they said little step, big future. I think that's the topic or something. Yes, if you ask me, if you look at the history of the nation today, if an international, you will notice that the people who are dominating now are Nigerians. As youths that are dominating, you look at those who are first classes, those who are propounding, those who are initiating what they call it, some kind of technology ideas and all that, they are Nigerians. And these people, because they saw people who push them. How about those who have those ideas, who does not have people that will push them, and they will have government who were supposed to run to? If you look at, when you talk about the local government, that means you're talking to people who are from the communities that fell under the local government. The first question is this. It's not about saying it. Do they reach out to these people who deserve this thing, these children? They don't. And that's the reason why you see most children misbehave. Most of them find themselves because no help, because no one is calling them out from the street to give them quality, to give them education or give them life, give their life meaning. because of that, they want to say, okay, I want to hustle. Before you know it, one of them will start selling water. From selling of water, one of the friends will be like, oh boy, there is a deal for you. Can you do this deal? Once you do this one deal, you have money. They find themselves into wrong hands and begin to do things that are negative. I'm saying that both from the local government, state and federal government should see this thing. I've always described this here. I said they should see the rights and the welfare of children as the first priority in order to give them, to give their life meaning and make them quality leaders of tomorrow. Because I also see that the reason why most of these people, when they grow, they derail, is because nobody gave them that orientation as children. No one gave them. No one looked after them. When they grow, they'll be like, no one looked after us. The practice has been that we saw these people always, when they give them power, they want to absorb and accumulate for their children alone, not looking at those who does not have who look after them. And they began to misbehave in the society and begin to gather public funds for themselves. And that is why when these ones grow, they see that same thing, they began to imitate the immediate thing they have seen. But if it were to be in a state where, or a community where people around are living pleasant life, living exemplary life that is worth emulating, you will see that they will grow up living life that is upright.
Okay, Mr. Michael, if I may get your answer on most of your analysis you have stated here. First off, you said the children are not longer the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of now.
Today.
Also, as much as that has been already stated, there should be investment on them at the moment, because they learn fast and they have more ideas that compared to the elders, like
yes.
the example the scenario you explained here. And the government also should play a role in the welfare of most of these individuals, and engage in bringing back most of these out of school children back to school, engaging them, integrating them back into the society, especially the ones that have been out there on their own, catering for themselves on their own, So the welfare of those children should also be a main priority by the government. The UBEC, actually, the Universal Basic Education Board, made a statement over some funds that have not been released for a long time over the welfare of some educational facilities and all of that. You see most schools that are dilapidated. There was this particular school that the pupil were actually learning from the ground. Some people will say it's not really about the environment. It's as far as information is being shared, that shouldn't be considered. I really don't know if you can throw more light on those aspects about the educational aspects.
Okay.
As much as you have listed most of these necessities, looking at the educational background, like you said, education should be the benchmark of every child's life before you talk about family and other social norms or social organizations and all of that. Education should be the first priority that should be looked into especially by the government, the local, state and the federal in that instance. But I want us to refer to the educational aspect, how the situation has been and things that has to be done to put in place to make the life of every Nigerian child become that. It's not 100% guarantee that everyone will actually turn out in that light of how it's supposed to be.
Okay, if you ask me, I wouldn't say that they don't have access, like they are claiming that they don't have access to some of the funds that are meant for the UBE, that they've not had access to it, as either getting whatever as to enable them run the body, in order to give this student or pupil, as they call them, life and that impact in their life. But I am disagreeing, and I'm saying that how about those other ones that they had access? How about the funds they had access? What happened to them? I met a principal whom I messed up not too long. I met with the principal, and I've heard the state government saying education is free. And on getting to the place, in fact, a few of my tenants told me, most times I'm on my own, I just go to the street, I say, why is this person like they say this? I say, okay, well, let us go and register them. you don't need money to register them anymore. I just go and I register them. All I owe them is when it's time for WAEC. I just go and know what is necessary to be given, and I do that and I leave. I go to the school, I saw so many students hanging around that they said they should bring money. Why they should bring money? And the principal said it's for PTA, it's for mother acceptance, father acceptance. What, like how? I went inside. I introduced myself to the so-called man. I didn't tell him who I actually was. I just told him I am so and so person. So Alpha, sir, please, I want to register about this for persons. He was like, okay, I have to pay this. I have to pay that. All what he mentioned got to 53,000. And I told him, young man, can you stop this madness? He was like, how? I said, stop this madness, my friend. I have to call. In fact, I'm calling the commissioner of police right now. He said, no. I said, okay, I'll call commissioner for education. Are you arguing with me? He was there. I called the person then. He said, begging me, say, please don't tell him anything. I was shouting. I was making the man to hear. He was pleading with me. I said, I will make video of you and I'm going to send it to them. It was there. I said, begging. Are you telling me that the man does not know that what he was doing was wrong? He knew. But because it's a business, he has seen it like a business that has worked for him once. He said what you permit is what you have given grace to keep repeating itself. The system is corrupt. I must be sincere with you. Even those who are crying about not having access to the phone, the system is corrupt. So if we must get it right in the education sector, I am pleading with them to look at the future of these children and look at their own children and say, if these people were to be my children, will I allow them to be on the streets? Will I allow them not to have skill? Will I allow them not to be in school? They should look at, once they have that mindset like, oh, what we are doing is wrong, then we will get it right and stop embezzling public funds to build houses for themselves and estates under false pretense. Again, if it must work, UBE, in fact, federal government had to set up a committee. Like I said before, this committee is going to be temporary. It's going to be a body, but it is going to be temporary. After a particular section of school, after a particular term, people that are there should be dropped and bring fresh people. And that fresh people will be duly scrutinized before you bring them. What is their mission? Their own is to monitor. And that monitoring you are going for, there should be self-camera. That's what we call self-camera. How self-camera looks like a cell phone, you can hook it. So that whatever they are doing there, whoever that is in charge is seeing what they are doing, if they are doing it properly or not, until we go to that level. If we don't get to that level, we will not get it right.
All right.